My name is Ben Booth. Welcome to Big Sky Voices. Our special guest today is someone that's rather famous in New Mexico and maybe nationally, we'll say. Marc Comstock is the president of the largest actors union for the state of New Mexico, SAG-AFTRA. How long have you been president of SAG?
This is my first term as SAG-AFTRA for the New Mexico local,
Yeah.
but I've been on the board for 4 years, and this is the first year of a 2-year term.
Yeah. At any rate, he has done a great job for the industry, for actors, and he is, we're so pleased to have him in. I've got a question for you.
Yes, shoot.
How did you first get interested in the entertainment business, movie? Because I know you've done theater, you've done film, you've done commercials, you've done nearly everything that can be done in this industry. You've produced.
Yeah.
What got you started?
My parents met in college doing theater, and then when I was growing up, they started a community theater in Denver.
Okay.
And I started doing some shows there, and then in junior high and high school, and then got my degree in theater from Colorado State University. And things just I just kept following that path.
Wow. Did you ever run across a person named Kat Falafis? She was from Denver, wasn't she?
She went to school, I believe, at the University of Northern Colorado,
Oh, okay.
and we have mutual friends, but I didn't meet her until I moved to New Mexico. In fact, one of our local casting directors, Catherine Brink, introduced me to Kat before we moved out here.
Wow.
So I knew her actually before the move, and she's great.
Yeah. So at an early age, you were on the stage then, huh?
On the stage, yeah, I think I was 7 at the first thing I did, and then I did my first commercial when I was in high school.
Wow. And on Denver TV or radio?
Yeah, it was a regional commercial, and they asked drama teachers to submit some kids to be basketball players. Well, I wasn't tall enough to be a basketball player, so me and this other young actor, Joe, went to the audition, and they liked us both so much that they rewrote the commercial to be baseball players.
All right.
And that's how I got my Taft-Hartley for SAG-AFTRA.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So when you're started in your movie career and you really got some good shots, and I've seen, let's see, oh my gosh, you've done TV, the series Manhattan, Stanistan, Night Shift. Wow,
yeah.
for 4 years? Is that right?
No, 4 episodes.
4 episodes.
Yeah. So the
Blood
first
Brothers,
one,
Stormwatch, Hog Wild, and more. Real time with Bill Meyer. Wow.
Yeah, I was his stand-in for 5 or 6 seasons and when I was in LA, and it was fun.
I bet that was kind of challenging too.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But you have have so many credits out there, and seem to be well regarded out there. Your agent's doing a good job for you, obviously.
That's right.
But can you tell me what is one of the first parts that you really got excited about that seemed to you like you were really doing something in the movies?
I really have to say it was Night Shift.
Night Shift.
It was one of those things where at the time that I got the role, I didn't know it was going to be a reoccurring character.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I was doing network TV. I'd done commercials and industrials.
Mm-hmm.
And the set, the writers, the producers, everyone was just so generous. And I got to see how professionals do it on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And spoiler alert, when they killed off my character, they were so generous in giving me the heads up and explaining the reasons why and all that. So it was just a great learning experience and just something I felt like I had an arc with that character.
Yeah. When you have a team like that,
Mm-hmm.
tell me, are they fast? Are they quick? Do they already know what they're going to do? Is it kind of bewildering when you first come in?
When you first come in, it kind of is, because you're just, you don't want to be the cog in the machine. You want
Yes.
to, but it really depends on each director. Some directors were so efficient, had their shots ready to go, knew what they wanted, and would get everything in 2 or 3 takes. And some directors were like, let's just see what happens, and you kind of do several takes in different setups.
Yeah, yeah. You might be interested. For a short time, I was on the board of the Shrine Children's Hospital in Los Angeles.
Uh-huh.
And the Night Shift group would come in occasionally, and they would just do a commercial or something to support the children and everything. And it was always a highlight. And one day when they came in, I think Sonny was walking the hallways. I was in the board meeting, and she was out there hugging all their actors and everything.
They were it was just a really great group of people.
I was convinced that she was going to be on Night Shift after that. But she said they seemed like really nice people to be.
Yeah, genuinely. I mean, they treated everyone well, and we were all, whether you were background or crafts or whatever you did on the set, you were just treated as an equal.
Yeah. Who stands out, if you could name one or even two, as far as directors that you really enjoyed working with? They were particularly funny or eccentric or creative or...
The one that sticks out the most was Eric LaSalle from Night Shift,
Right.
and he was really demanding,
Yeah.
and he pushed and challenged everyone, and it was on the one hand intimidating,
Yeah.
but at the same hand it was like it really made you make sure you were focused and connected and working, and he knew how to push you and to challenge you, and he'd worked with a lot of the series regulars before, and he'd say, hey, I've seen you do this before, let's try something new.
Yes.
And it was, like I said, it was kind of intimidating, but it was also so rewarding because you knew he was pushing you for all the right reasons.
Mm-hmm. Now, he taught you then something about expecting excellence, right?
Yeah, that's an excellent way of putting it.
You produced your own movie. And did you learn from him? Did you exercise some of the things that he taught you?
Yes and no. You know, it was great because I had some co-producers on our Secondhand Sunset film, and Sarah Minnick, who's a local actress here, she'd produced a lot more, and she taught me a lot about the producing side of it. And what Eric I took from him was, when you're doing a 48-hour film, you have a very limited time, was making sure everyone was on that same page to get it right and get it quick.
Yes.
And I think some of that came through in just how we were pushing ourselves.
Visuals in that too, you know?
Yeah.
And well, all right. So there's the neat director.
Yeah.
Who are some of the most exciting actors or actresses that you've worked with?
John Hickey from Manhattan we had this scene which was, I don't speak German, he doesn't speak German, and we were doing this in German, and he was just the most generous man. We had so much downtime, we just got to talk, and we talked about his career, and here's someone who's been making a living of it, and he was just still so grateful to be at the opportunity he was. And we would talk about things, and we would check in with each other, and his dedication to his craft and how grounded he was it was inspiring.
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm ever in that position, that's how you want to be on set.
Yeah. Interesting. Manhattan. And we had a lot of people here from Albuquerque and Santa Fe that were in Manhattan.
Yeah. Well, you know, with the labs being here and, you know, taking place here in Los Alamos.
Yeah. So when you're going along, what do you see for New Mexico? So everybody we talk to, every producer, they say, oh, New Mexico's got so much potential. It seems like we've been having potential here for 80 years. And I would think with 6 studios or 7 maybe, we're beyond potential. What do you see in the industry?
I say that we still have more potential, actually. And the reason for that is we still need more studio space. We still need more crew. And we hopefully will get to a place where we take the cap off. Because those are the things that kind of limit productions, like, oh, you're close to the cap, or we want to come, but there's not quite enough crew, or you need one more studio that can accommodate this production.
Right.
And I think everything's lining up that we're going to be removing the cap, that we're going to be getting another studio. And once those things fall into place, I think we'll be as busy as like in Atlanta. And just, you know, every year we do more.
Yeah.
And I still think that we're like 2 years away from hitting our potential.
Yeah, it seems like Atlanta came on really strong, didn't they? Georgia did. And we are told at one time that we were number 2 just behind Los Angeles.
Right.
And then Georgia came and passed us up.
Right.
And why was that, do you think?
A big part of that was they had the infrastructure, and Tyler Perry built a whole studio, and he was producing so much content. And I think, too, when you have a big cosmopolitan city, you tend to draw more... There's a lot more of things that you need and a lot more diversity, so it makes it easier to cast, makes it that you have a bigger crew base, all those things that you have with a larger population in a larger city.
Right. What kind of parts do you like to play?
You know, I usually get cast comic roles, comic relief. You know, I'm the goofy friend, the odd guy, and I really have a lot of fun with that. But what's great about Manhattan was I kind of got to get out sort of my normal brand and do something a little more dramatic.
Yeah.
So I love doing the comedy stuff, but the real challenge is when you do something that people don't see you as.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. Someone has told me that they find being the bad guy sometimes the most interesting and challenging parts. You think that's true?
I do think that's true. Just because it's a different point of view. The rules are different for a person who has that perspective. You know, that they think they're in the right.
Yeah.
And we're all like, you're evil.
Well, I know you can't speak of confidential matters, but tell me, in the audience out there, what is important about SAG-AFTRA, and why is it of value to people that are in the acting business? Tell us, what do you do and what do you hope for it to continue to do?
Well, that's the benefit of being a part of a union. And those are things like a guaranteed minimum wage, it's health and pension and all those things that kind of give you, it's not a king's ransom that we get paid, but it's a living wage. And it gives you that bargaining power collectively to negotiate with studios and networks and saying, hey, this is how much you're going to get paid for a day, a week, an episode, all those things. And so what the union's there is just to make you have a safe working environment. And the resources to back it up. So if you felt there was a safety violation, there's a number you can call and they will have someone on it right away. So it's all those things. It's collective bargaining, it's safety, it's a living wage, all the things that you just do that you have the power of a union behind you.
Do you think you really have cases, without getting into specifics, where an actor or an actress is in trouble or they're having some kind of issue that the influence of the union can really come in and help?
They can, and I have a personal experience of there was a time when we were doing a production here and payroll was behind, like months behind.
Wow.
And the union came in, pushed them through, and made sure that there's penalty payments for when they're late. Made sure that everyone, once a claim was filed by one person, they cover the whole show and all the actors. So they made sure that we all got our penalty payments and our checks, and then they stayed with that production and kept following up with them to make sure that it didn't go back to those bad habits. And it was beneficial to us, and that's how we pay our rent.
Yeah, of course. We continue to hear stories and rumors about groups that are going to come in and start post-production facilities here or do expand post-production. We've even had a couple of companies that said, we are here doing post-production. And I don't know how well that's worked for them or whatnot. What do you think? And do you expect another studio to appear between Santa Fe and Albuquerque anytime soon?
I don't know if it's going to be soon. I know that there's been grumblings for the last year about where will they build another studio, and I think the Santa Fe area is certainly what they're looking at. And I know that the city of Santa Fe specifically has been courting new businesses to do post-production, so that those things don't go back to LA and we create more jobs for our industry here. And again, I still think we're in that 1.5 to 2 year window.
Right. Now, do you think in the next 5 years,
yes,
are you still going to be doing what you're doing? And are you going to grow like I have grown, gray-haired, and continue to do these character parts and interesting things?
Yeah, I've already got the gray hair started. So yes.
Just wait, it will come more, I guarantee.
That's right. Well, and I have a daughter, so that always adds more, baby.
We do too.
So yeah, but I do think I would love to still be, I still see myself being involved in this industry and with our community, because New Mexico has the best community and industry of all the industries I've worked in.
Yeah. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this. And Victor wanted to be here. He had to make a trip to Portland, so Victor Wilmette normally co-hosts us. But you got off easy. You got just me.
That's right. Well, it was a pleasure to be here.
If there is one thing you would like to say, or if someone said, I really am impressed with Marc, how would they best get in touch with you? An email, a homepage? What is the best way they can communicate with you?
An email is always just the best, and that's my name, Marc Comstock @gmail.com.
And that's Marc with a C, right?
Marc with a C, exactly. And on the IMDb page and all that, it's all that my contact information is there, and you can also go to the SAG-AFTRA webpage, and there's an email that connects you to me through that as well.
Yeah. I was noticing that one of the movies you ran, Maze Runner, the Scorch Trials. It cost, it says here, $61 million to create that film, but their income was $312 million.
Right.
Wow.
Not too bad.
Y'all made money on that. Come on.
Yeah, sure. I mean, any business wants to do that, right? You want to, invest a certain amount and make 3 times or more of what you invest.
Well, I've got to ask you, because when I saw that on your site and I started looking at some of the, boy, what sets they had. How exciting. I mean, that must have been just to see and to jump yourself into this other world.
Yeah, and a lot of that was actually at the I-25 studios, and they just built it there. And the day I was there, they had this big complex lab set up, and next door they were building a working shower
Come on.
right, for the scene where it takes place in the shower.
Yeah.
And it was running water, hot and cold, and I was just like, wow, they're just building this in 12 hours.
Come on, and then it's gone afterwards.
And then it's gone.
Well, but truly, that must have been sort of inspiring just to look around and see all the money they're spending and whatnot.
When you have a big production like that, everything, like you're seeing that money is being coming back to you on screen,
Yes.
right? It's being invested in the production values and the cast and the writing and all the special effects.
Yes.
And you're like, when you watch that movie, you're like, all 61 million you can see on the screen.
Yeah. Well, when you think of a name, you think, well, here's someone that's new, or here's a wannabe, or here's an up-and-coming actor. But, Mark, you are established in the business. You've got a name. You've got credits. You have done it all. You're president of SAG-AFTRA. And they apparently like you in Los Angeles as well as New Mexico.
Yeah, well,
and let's see, what did I say? 2 theater productions in New York on Park Avenue, or where was?
Oh,
did I say?
no, nothing in New York. I did a lot of mine in Seattle, Washington, and here. But in Denver, it was a theater called Theater Off Broadway, which was in Denver.
Off Broadway, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's kind of a mislead. It makes it sound really fancy.
Well, the people in Denver think it's better than New York anyway.
That's right. That's right.
Really a pleasure to have you.
Oh,
Thank you so much for coming.
It was a pleasure to
my
be
friend.
here. Thank you so much, man.
And this is Big Sky Voices with Marc Comstock, a special person, an established actor from New Mexico. And welcome and have a good evening. Adios.